Art has the power to freeze time, to tell stories that transcend centuries, to make us confront the raw and untamed depths of human emotion. Michelangelo Merisi da Caravaggio, the rebellious genius of the Baroque era, captured this truth like no other. In his masterpiece, The Taking of Christ, he pulls us into the betrayal of Jesus, a moment that changed the course of history forever. Look closer. This isn't just a scene of betrayal. It's a mirror held up to humanity. Guilt, fear, greed, and perhaps hope. Join me as I delve into the shadows and the light of The Taking of Christ, a masterpiece that asks as many questions as it answers and reveals the soul of a man, a movement, and a moment. The Taking of Christ is a quintessential example of Caravaggio's mastery of composition. The scene captures the betrayal of Jesus by Judas in a tightly packed frame, directing the viewer's attention to the central emotional conflict. The figures are arranged in a diagonal line, emphasizing the tension and immediacy of the event. Caravaggio employs chiaroscuro, the dramatic contrast between light and shadow, to create depth and intensity. The bright light focuses on the faces of Jesus and Judas, symbolizing the moral gravity of the betrayal, while the surrounding darkness swallows the chaos of the moment. Jesus is depicted with a resigned expression, his eyes downcast, reflecting his acceptance of fate. Judas, on the other hand, leans forward to deliver the kiss, his face filled with determination and guilt. The physical closeness between the two figures underscores the emotional tension. The Roman soldiers are faceless agents of power and violence. One soldier's polished armor reflects light brilliantly, drawing the eye and serving as a stark contrast to the vulnerability of Jesus. The lantern, held by an unarmed man, thought to be Caravaggio himself, symbolizes the artificial illumination of human actions. The natural light illuminating Jesus contrasts with this man-made light, possibly indicating divine truth versus earthly deception. The painting captures movement frozen in time. Judas lunges forward, while Jesus pulls slightly back. The soldiers press in with a sense of suffocating inevitability, while the disciple John flees, arms raised in panic. Caravaggio opts for a dark, almost non-existent background, ensuring the viewer's focus remains on the figures and their emotions. This absence heightens the claustrophobia and immediacy of the moment. The painting's restrained palette of deep reds, blacks, and browns reflects the somber and violent nature of the event. The flashes of white and metallic light add visual tension. Michelangelo Merisi, known as Caravaggio, was born in 1571 in Caravaggio, a town near Milan. Orphaned at a young age, his early life was marked by instability, shaping his often rebellious and volatile nature. As a young artist, Caravaggio trained under Simone Pedersano in Milan, where he was exposed to the techniques of the Lombard school, which emphasized naturalism and attention to detail. Caravaggio moved to Rome in the early 1590s, seeking opportunities in the bustling artistic capital. His early works, often genre scenes featuring everyday people, showcased his talent for realism and his interest in the human condition. By the late 1590s, Caravaggio gained fame for his innovative approach to religious art, particularly through his commissions for the Contarelli Chapel, including The Calling of St. Matthew. Caravaggio's life was as dramatic as his art. Known for his violent temper, he was frequently involved in brawls and even killed a man in a duel in 1606, forcing him to flee Rome. After his exile, Caravaggio wandered through Naples, Malta, and Sicily, continuing to create masterworks but living a life of constant unrest. His struggles often found expression in his deeply emotional and dark works. Caravaggio died under mysterious circumstances in 1610 at the age of 38. His turbulent life left a legacy as one of the most influential painters of the Baroque period. Caravaggio revolutionized painting by rejecting idealized depictions in favor of raw naturalism. His figures often appear unpolished, with dirt under their nails and wrinkles on their faces. His art delves into the psyche of his subjects, capturing their emotions with an intensity rarely seen in earlier works. In The Taking of Christ, each face tells a story, from fear to betrayal to resignation. Caravaggio's use of chiaroscuro not only added drama, but also guided the viewer's eye to the focal points of his compositions. Light becomes a narrative device, symbolizing divine grace or human fallibility. Caravaggio often employed asymmetrical compositions, breaking away from the rigid symmetry of earlier Renaissance art. This approach added dynamism and immediacy to his works. He frequently used common people as models for his religious subjects, imbuing them with a relatable humanity. This controversial choice challenged the conventions of the church and the art world. His attention to detail, from the reflections on armor to the texture of fabrics, added realism and tactile quality to his paintings. Though his life was marked by sin and controversy, Caravaggio's works reflect a deep engagement with themes of faith, redemption, and human frailty. Unlike the harmonious and idealized works of the Renaissance, Caravaggio's paintings are raw, emotional, and often unsettling, signaling the dramatic shift toward Baroque art. Caravaggio's works were shaped by the Counter-Reformation, which emphasized accessible and emotionally resonant religious art to inspire faith among the masses. As a pioneer of the Baroque style, Caravaggio's works are characterized by their drama, tension, and focus on the interplay of light and shadow. Caravaggio's realism was often criticized for being too graphic or unorthodox, yet it resonated deeply with those seeking relatable and impactful religious imagery. Caravaggio's influence extended beyond his lifetime, inspiring artists like Peter Paul Rubens, Diego Velázquez, and Rembrandt. His style laid the groundwork for modern approaches to realism. Deeper themes in The Taking of Christ, Human Betrayal. The painting captures one of history's most infamous betrayals, exploring themes of loyalty, greed, and the cost of human weakness. Divine Sacrifice. Despite the chaos, Jesus remains composed, embodying the ultimate act of sacrifice and forgiveness. Moral ambiguity. Caravaggio does not moralize. Instead, he presents the event with raw realism, forcing viewers to grapple with its moral complexities. Human suffering. The faces of Jesus and John express profound suffering, emphasizing the emotional toll of the event. The role of light. The contrasting sources of light, divine and artificial, suggest a battle between truth and deception. Caravaggio's The Taking of Christ exemplifies his revolutionary approach to religious art, merging human vulnerability with divine themes. Even centuries later, the painting remains a powerful exploration of betrayal, sacrifice, and redemption. This masterpiece continues to inspire artists and captivate audiences with its timeless emotional resonance. The Taking of Christ reminds us that art has the power to illuminate both the light and the shadows of the human experience. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Caravaggio's life, his genius, and the masterpiece that continues to leave us awestruck. Until next time, keep exploring the art that shapes our world.